Alright, so we have our first battle here in the tournament. My opponent's kind of running somewhat similar team to me, except his choice for grass type and dark type are different. I generally am not too worried about Zwelius when people run it, and I wasn't really too scared of the Victory Bell either, but I felt like he might try to lead Victory Bell, so I decided to lead Frostlass his first battle. He ends up running Beedrill, and I know I can take X-Scissors, so I just stay in. I don't even shield, because it didn't really feel like that was even a drill run. I go for the first Avalanche, they shield. This time, I think I still don't shield, but they end up going for the drill run, which does a decent chunk there. I end up I can get off one more Avalanche. They end up sacking Beedrill. They bring in their own Frostlass, and I brought Umbreon this round, so I just bring an Umbreon on Frostlass. They switch out to their Sudowoodo. I switch out to the mirror with my Sudowoodo. And yeah, I shield the first Rock Slide. Even though I could take that, I thought it would be better to shield, go for because they're going to shield too, and I'd rather get off as much damage as possible with my Sudowoodo. I'm thinking it's a good idea to shield here. It was a good idea I kept my shields for this scenario, and I'm able to pretty much farm down with counter and then launch a Rock Slide right off on Frostlass right as it comes in. They just used all their energy there, but to be fair, it didn't really matter. They could not have one-shot Umbreon with any move Frostlass had. So that was round one. Okay, so I guess in a way I was thinking, I know like Frostlass does a lot of work here, and so does Sudowoodo against their team. I was trying to think about the Victory Bell, like what is he going to do with the Victory Bell? Is he going to bring it? I think I lead Frostlass again, my second match. But I'm thinking, what will I bring this time in the back? Because I feel like, yeah, I switch it up. I bring Alolan Graveler and Venusaur this time. I completely switch my back line this time. Okay, so they lead Alolan Graveler. That's a pretty nice lead against the Frostlass. I decided to switch into my Venusaur, not even trying to go for like a wasted charge move on their end. I don't even shield, they just go for the Rock Blast. I'm able to get off a Frenzy here, which I assume they're going to shield, which they do. They have a lot of energy on Graveler at the moment, and I decided to just shield this time. And they do go for the Stone Edge. I think they could have just Rock Blast there, and it would have been maybe better. But fortunately, I get both their shields, and I think at this point, I'm thinking, I think if I shield this, I can actually just farm down Graveler and have energy for whatever he brings in. So he does end up bringing Victory Bell, and I go straight for the Sludge Bomb. And then I switch out to Frostlass, which I have an Avalanche on already. So I'm too scared, I guess, of the Razor Leaf damage. And he switches in Lone Graveler, which just dies to a Powder Snow. He has Sudowoodo. I don't know why I went for the... I mean, maybe Shadow Ball does more damage here. I don't actually think it does. Wait. I think it's the same, actually. Wait, actually, maybe Shadow Ball does more damage against Sudowoodo. It looks like it did than an Avalanche would. Yeah, so I just had a Loven Graveler in the back, and I can bring it in. Just a Volt Switch down. Hold on, let me look this up real quick. Because I was looking at Sudowoodo versus Frostlass in the no shield, but I didn't look at how much Shadow Ball does. Oh yeah, Shadow Ball does more damage. Okay, yeah, obviously they're both neutral. So I mean, it depends on IVs obviously, but Shadow Ball does 73 damage, while Avalanche does 65. It's a slight difference. Yo, congratulations, T-Money, on hitting rank 10. Alright, so we have Sudowoodo mirror. I decided to go for the Rock Slide here, trying to get that shield. Maybe they will let it just go, but instead, Yeah, I decided to trade a shield because I'm thinking I'll get a fast move in here, and I'll actually knock it out and live, and can rock slide before I die. Whatever he brings in here. So I didn't even see what he brought in. I just went straight for the rock slide, of course. It is Beedrill. And I decided to bring in Frostlass in on the Beedrill. Beedrill has to go for the drill run, which it's gonna do here. I end up going for the Avalanche. And I think at this point, they go for X-Scissor. And I live the X-Scissor, and I think I farm down with Powder Snow. And then they switch in a Lone Graveler, I go for an Avalanche, and I have Venusaur in the back line, so I think I switch straight to Venusaur here. Yeah. Yeah, so I just switch straight to Venusaur, and nothing they can do can one-shot me. I get to the Frenzy Plant, and that's pretty much the final round. Cody, welcome to the stream, man. Great to have you. Okay, so that was the first round of the tournament. By the way, this is from that distance is from the rocker. Wait, why didn't it let me collect the rewards? Huh. It's funny because like that always pops up, and I always forget that, like, because I use the rocker to hatch eggs and get distance for buddies. Like, it's always ridiculous numbers. Like, of course I'm not walking that much. I just go to bed, and I, like, put Zekrom on the rocker, for example. And I'm trying to get, like, Zekrom candy or some shit. Like, every 20 kilometers I get, like, one candy. Anyways, let's jump into the next battle here. Let me bring up my opponent's team. Okay. Okay, so my next opponent, this is RC Cola. RC Cola. He's actually the organizer of this tournament. So, I decided to leave Frostlass. Wait, wrong. And honestly, I'm not too familiar with the Glalie matchup, but he ends up leading Glalie. Ada, welcome to the stream. He ends up leading Glalie, and aside, you know, I'm gonna go straight Shadow Ball, and then I'm gonna like try to bait. He doesn't shield the first one, which is kind of nice, and honestly, I shield. I'm like not really. I could have probably taken that Avalanche. But I end up trying to go for the bait here, and he does fall for it. Okay, but now, at this point, I'm like, I don't even know. So I switch out to a Lone Graveler, he Shadow Balls. He switches to a Pseudo-Wudo, and I'm able to do nothing there. I wasted all my energy. I was like, damn, I could at least Rock Blast there. So, in this scenario, I decide, okay, I'm just not going to shield. He EQs me, and I'm like, dude, that sucks. So I go for a Frenzy Plant. He ends up shielding. I'm farming down, and I can't get off the Frenzy Plant there either. And I'm like, dude, this is not good. I have to shield Rock Slide or I'm gonna die. And I'm trying my best to farm down here. So I get the farm down. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, so I have that. I have some energy. He switches in Venusaur. He tries to trick me. And he switches the Glalie. I'm a little patient. I farm slightly, so I can have 2 Avalanches. And I end up taking the match. I was like, holy smokes, dude, that was crazy. Okay, so I took round 1 there. I feel like we were talking after the match, and he was saying that he played the Glalie matchup incorrect there. And I definitely feel like I believe that. Let's see. Dude, that was rough. So, I guess I'm trying to decide, do I want to try to just lead Frostlass again? Or is he gonna try to be in that scenario with Glalie against my Frostlass? And will I not be so lucky next time? So, I decided to... don't know, I'm like tossing around the idea, maybe he's not actually even going to lead Glalie, and he's going to try to counter Frostlass here. I'm like, maybe he'll bring in Sudowoodo lead this time, or a lone Graveler. Alright, so I lead Venusaur, and he does lead the lone Graveler, and I'm like, alright, this is pretty good for me. I know he's gonna try to, like, I think what he ends up doing, he's trying to farm down energy, so I'm not really sure what he's gonna go for. I just go straight Frenzy Plant. I decide not to shield the very first move, and he does go for the Stone Edge. I'm like, fuck. I switch out Venusaur, I bring in Frostlass in on Vespiquen. Fortunately, it is bug flying, so it does take super... It does... Wait, I think, oh wait, yeah, so I take the rock move there, which actually really hurts, by the way. And we can knock it out with the Avalanche. We're able to get off another Avalanche before Frostlass goes down to the Graveler, and they're definitely just farming energy on me. So I switch in Sudowoodo knowing I can take a hit. I end up shielding the Rock Blast, and he has so much energy, but I think he got trapped on a Volt Switch there. And I go straight for an EQ. So I end up taking that round too. So that's just that's the set right there. So I end up going 2. Well, okay, we have our. I'm 2-0 currently, but we have our final battle. Yeah, Cody, what you're talking about, it is like a couple weeks, but the schedule's off because of maintenance going down for a while. But what I'm doing right here is actually a Sylph-based tournament. Yeah, so right now, I think soon we'll be seeing all leagues available again, because we're coming close to the end of Season 2 in GBL. Alright, so this match, I decided to go back to leading Frostlass, and we're back at this matchup that we were in the very first round. Glalie versus Frostlass. This time I decided to go for the bait move early on and see if it tricks him. Does not trick him. He doesn't even shield again. Should have just gone straight for the Shadow Ball. Hey, RC Cole, I'm actually, we're watching the very last battle right now. So I decided to Shadow Ball there. He does shield. I switch out to Sudowoodo. He complements that switch by bringing in his Venusaur, which is kind of rough for me. I'm just going to go for the Rock Slide. And he's getting energy. I'm just going to let Sudowoodo go down here. Alright. So I take a Sludge Bomb by the opposing Venusaur, and I guess maybe I should have just shielded and farmed down here, but I decided to go for the Frenzy. He brings in the Glalie. I get off another Frenzy Plant. I think he might shield this. Yeah, he does shield. And I end up trading a shield too, but I think, yeah, it is the Shadow Ball. In comes Graveler, and I think that's game, because all he has to do is Rock Blast me here. Yeah, I can't do anything to one-shot it. He is able to get off a Rock Blast, which will knock me out. Venusaur is just at way too low of health to really do anything. So that's GG's. GG's, RC Cola. Good to see you, man. Okay, so we end up going 2-1 in our second battle here. Let me bring up my third opponent's team. GG's again, RC Cola. Game 3 for Pride. Yeah, no, I was saying how, like, we were talking earlier. I mean, we were talking after about, and you were saying you played the matchup wrong. Okay, so I was playing Ninja here, and I don't know why. I think I was a little scared to bring the Frostlass lead, so I decided to bring a lone Graveler. Because Because he has Lapras and the Vespicoin and Jump Bluff, so I was thinking maybe Graveler would be an alright lead. I decided to stay in here. I don't shield the very first foul play. I do shield the second one. I think I opt out and just going straight Stone Edge the very first move, because I don't think he will shield. He takes a nice chunk. I click Rail Rock Blast after that. He shields that time. I'm pondering on switching, but I guess I decided to stay in. And I'll commit a shield here to foul play. And I'm going to use Rock Blast again. And he's so close to getting knocked out, but it doesn't knock out Umbreon, and he can actually get off foul play, which in turn does knock out my Graveler, putting me in a really tough cookie here. Because now I'm in the mirror, and I'm trying to predict this switch. I do switch out on the Rock Slide, but I'm not entirely sure what he has here. I don't know if I was lagging there. It seemed like I kind of lagged slightly. I know it's sped up, but I remember thinking, like, did I miss a fast attack there? And did it matter? So I'm thinking, like, this is over at this point, you know what I mean? Like, I can't do anything. So, yeah. That's pretty much game. He shields this time, and he just Volt Switches Sudowoodo down. So, game one, I don't know, like, the way the game has been functioning recently, I don't really contest even, like, these, like, little fast move things. Hey, Solid, welcome to stream. I didn't really, like, I didn't know how to interpret it. I know it's, like, really fast. If I was playing it slower, maybe it'd be easier to tell, but for the most part, it was just, like, a nice game on his end. Really nice lead against my team. I don't know why I kept, like, shying away. Like, I was just, like, making every bad lead. This is not terrible, technically, but this is not necessarily great as well. I go straight for the Rock Slide. Yo, congratulations, Graham. Dude, that's awesome, you're in New York City. Ada. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go for another Rock Slide. At least we got the shield, I was thinking, and I switch in Graveler. I don't think I'm gonna commit a shield here. I think I'm just gonna take the Energy Ball, which, in hindsight, I maybe should have actually shielded this. Yeah, I think I just am like, whatever. So I just don't even shield there either, and I end up getting a Rock Blast off anyways. So now I have Venusaur with 2 shields, and I'm just gonna bring it in right on Sudowoodo here. I'm gonna pressure him to shield. He just lets Sudowoodo go down. Then he has Umbreon, and I should be able to win this battle. I have 2 shields versus their 1 shield, and Venusaur will be able to win out spam energy. You know, the whole time I was thinking I should lead Venusaur against this guy's team in a way. Like, I don't know why I was shying away from it. Like, the first match, if I would have led Venusaur, would have been really good. I know the second match, it wouldn't have been that ideal. But think of it this way, it's like, it's Bullet Seed on Jump Bluff, and it has to hit me with an Aerial Ace to really do significant damage. And even then, I don't think it can, like, one-shot me. So anyways, yeah, I do end up taking this match with Venusaur against the Umbreon. Really interesting games. So we're going to jump... This is a tiebreaker match. So this is round 3 of set 3. And we're in a tiebreaker match. Who's a Masquerain? That's awesome. Yeah, they're definitely tough. The battles are really tough. Okay, so I lead Alolan Graveler, and you know what? Again, I was thinking, like, I was so thinking I would lead Venusaur here, but I decided, I don't know, I just felt like it was like such an obvious pick on my end, and I should have definitely just did it. I was thinking about it, like, damn, if I would have just led my Venusaur here, this would have been really nice. So I decided to stay in and pretty much sack my Alolan Graveler, and I think I bring in Venusaur, and I try to get energy, but then I was like, man, I should have actually brought in Pseudo potentially, and ate a Rock Slide, So yeah, this is kind of rough. He has 2 rock slides, and he brings in the jump bluff. He goes for the rocks. I mean, I go for rock slide on jump bluff, and yeah, he's just gonna knock me out here. I think I. Well, no, I do shield. Damn, I end up shielding. Yeah, I do go for another rock slide. Yo, this match is very sloppy. Yo, I really wish I just led Venusaur like I was hoping. Like I was. It's one of those gut instincts that I just kind of went against. Yeah, so as you can see here, even against the jump bluff, I feel like Venusaur's on a terrible scenario because look at that. Like, Sludge Bomb is way more threatening. And he has Vespiquen in the bag, so it's pretty much game. He brought the Vespiquen just for the Venusaur this match. Very nicely done. If I would have led Venusaur this match, we would have been in a much better position because I think he would have probably tried to switch out the Vespiquen. Then we could have switched out to a lone Grappler. But again, good games, ninjamook. Very good games. Alright, so let's jump on to our next opponent here. This guy's team was kind of spicy, but it makes sense too. He was running Scolipede, Dezighn. So I was thinking he would try to... I don't know, for some reason I was thinking he would leave Venusaur against me. Or, but he ends up bringing Lapras, which isn't terrible here. I mean, I think I decided to take a Surf from his Lapras, and I'm gonna just go straight Shadow Ball. I'm gonna charge up a little bit of energy, and I decided to go straight Shadow Ball. He doesn't shield the first one, and I decide I'm gonna commit a shield here, because Lapras' fast moves aren't really doing a lot of damage to me, and I can, at this point, I feel pretty confident that I can like put some pressure on him. So I go for another Shadow Ball. He shields this time. So I decided to double commit a shield. And what I end up doing, I go for the bait move. I'm just going to go straight for an Avalanche. I think Avalanche could... I don't even think Avalanche actually realistically does knock out there. But he ends up switching out to Venusaur. And I go for a Sludge Bomb. Doing a chunk. So we're both... I'm a slight energy ahead. I'm definitely slightly ahead in energy. But he switches for the mirror. And I'm going to be able to return another Sludge Bomb and knock out his Venusaur. I feel like he could have maybe gone for the Frenzy, but maybe it was that I had like that much ahead of him that it was either CMP or he was one move behind. He brings in Lapras, goes for the Surf. I farm down with Frostlass, and they go for an Avalanche here, which I assume is... Oh, it's Sudowoodo. And yeah, I decided to switch in directly to a low-end Graveler so I can get to a Rock Blast and knock it out before it can kill me. So I'm able to take round 1. I was a little nervous with this team because personally, I've never played against Scolipede ever, and I didn't even really know what it was running. I was like, it probably has a poison and grass move. That's all I could like assume. I've never tried out Scolipede in play. So he leads Sudowoodo. He ends up leading the Scolipede. And I'm like, alright, I feel like this is good for me. But he ends up staying in. I overcharged slightly. I don't know if I would have actually beat him. He goes straight for a Mega Horn there. I'm like, whoa, that actually did a decent chunk. Like, that was actually insane. So I end up shielding the X-Scissor here and going for another Rock Slide, hoping to get his shield. He ends up committing both shields, and Sudowoodo just goes down. At this point, I'm thinking, okay, Frostlass, if he's running, I should be able to resist the moves. And I decided to switch here to Venusaur. I take a last resort, and I'm just gonna go for the Frenzy Plant. I think there's a really good chance I can win this match. I think I commit to the shield here, and I'm gonna get another Frenzy Plant off, which I don't think it actually knocks out Umbreon, but I can beat it. No, it does actually knock out here, which is good. Right here, I'm like, I just died to the Scolipede pretty much. I bring in Frostlass, I get a little bit of energy, and I go straight for Avalanche, which can finish off Scolipede, and he has Venusaur in the back, which is really good for me because now I can just Avalanche again, and I end up taking game 2. And my opponent ended up actually, he ended up forfeiting round 3 and pretty much dropping out of the tournament after that match. It's a little unfortunate because it makes a difference in the Bullshults in the end. But yeah, I thought he was gonna go into the next round, but he ended up dropping. But good games, anyways. Dezighn. I'm gonna bring up my last opponent's team here, and then we're gonna jump into the final round where it's the undefeated person of the tournament versus me. Alright. Here it is, guys. I made him rage quit, yeah, pretty much. He said he made a bad switch that game. Alright, so I'm against BirdWatcherhawk. BirdWatcherhawk is leading Umbreon, and I'm leading Venusaur. This is a good matchup for me, so I'm gonna just stay in and try to go for a Frenzy Plant as fast as possible. As you can see on Birdwatcher, they actually were just overcharging a little bit, and I decided to just go straight for Frenzy Plant, and they don't shield the first one, and I decide not to shield the first move as well. So we're gonna, yeah, I'm just gonna keep going for the Frenzy Plants, but he makes a really nice switch here to his Venusaur, which is really nice. Ends up wasting my energy, and I think I decide to just stay in. I'm like, fuck it, dude, like I have to. I go for a Sludge Bomb, and he's gonna shield it. BirdWatcherhawk is now going for his Sludge Bomb, and I will return a shield as well. I was really glad to know that that was also a Sludge Bomb, because if it was a Frenzy Plant, that would have been kind of scary. But we're in a scenario where we're just pretty much trading shields, we're not even trying to bait, we're just going straight aggressive. And he decides not to shield that time. And I decided to shield. He's going for the bait move this time, but I decided to shield. And I can just farm down Venusaur. Birdwatcher does have one shield on me. They bring in their Frostlass. I switch into Umbreon. BirdWatcherhawk is going for their Avalanche, and it does like a quarter of my health on Umbreon. They bring in their Umbreon, and I think they're going for a last resort on me. Yeah, they are. So I'm gonna farm just slightly, and I think I just go straight for the last resort as well. They end up shielding, which is a good plan. I mean, good idea. So now we're both no shields. BirdWatcherhawk is gonna do their last resort back to me. And I'm going to return another last resort right back at BirdWatcherhawk. Alright, so I'm going to switch out to Sudowoodo here, I think, and try to farm down the Umbreon. So Umbreon ends up going for... BirdWatcher goes for the foul play on Umbreon. I do take that damage, but we can get to a Rock Slide, and I can actually knock out Frostlass here. Alright, so we knock out Frostlass, and then BirdWatcher throws Umbreon in, and I take round 1. Alright, so that was the very first round. Good games again. So we have our second battle coming up here very shortly. I think this time, yeah, I'm gonna lead a lone Graveler. Alrighty. This is a pretty insane match. Okay, so I lead a lone Graveler and Birdwatcher leads Venusaur. This is a pretty crazy match, because I think I actually shield here. Yeah, I decided to shield and stay in. Man, this is a crazy fucking match. So, I'm like, okay, I'll just get a straight Stone Edge here. I don't think he'll shield, but he does end up going for the shield. Very nice play. So, I'm like right on the Stone Edge, and he had the Frenzy Plant, but I actually get the Stone Edge off, and I think he thinks, oh, you know, this is not another Stone Edge. So he doesn't shield, and Venusaur goes down. And he brings in Sudowoodo. I can't get off a Rock Blast before I die. I think I bring in Venusaur on his Sudowoodo. He goes for the Rock Slide, and I think I just let the Rock Slide come through. He switches to Frostlass, and I switch to Sudowoodo here. He goes for the Avalanche, and I think I just let it go through. He doesn't even hit that last bar. Yeah, I go for the Rock Slide, and of course they're gonna shield this. You know, honestly, upon watching this again, I don't know if I shield this. Do I shield? I think I do shield this, yes. I do shield. Obviously, I want to get the Rock Slide off. And we're able to knock out Frostlass here. But the problem about this play is the switch timer is still a few seconds, and I'm not able to just switch directly to my Venusaur. So as you can see here, it's like literally those few fast attacks that he was able to get off on Sudowoodo gave him the energy lead here, allowing him to actually take the match. Damn, that was actually insane. Really well played, Birdwatcherhawk. Alright, this is our final tiebreaker match. That was just such a crazy battle. Alright, so I end up leading Venusaur, and Birdwatcher is leading Sudowoodo. This is a pretty good scenario for me. And I'm thinking he's going to try to switch out on me, which is exactly what he does, and I go straight for Sludge Bomb on Venusaur. He doesn't shield the very first Sludge Bomb, which is pretty nice. I decided this is probably my best scenario, is actually just to stay in, and there's really no reason not to just go straight Sludge Bomb. Like, I think I still have the energy. Like, I'm in a pretty good position with Venusaur, I thought. So, we're going to see a Sludge Bomb coming from Birdwatcher. They could have definitely probably got away with a Frenzy Plant here, and I would have shielded anyways. But I was just like, you know, obviously I don't want to get hit by the Sludge Bomb, so I shield. So we're both like, I'm actually ahead still, but I'm thinking they're definitely going to shield here. And I make the risky play and I go for the Frenzy Plant, which ends up really benefiting me here because they do end up shielding. And I think I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to shield again, because at this point, even if I get to a Frenzy Plant, I think I do actually knock out. But they end up switching to Sudowoodo, and I'm like, oh shit. And they go for Rock Slide, which pretty much almost kills Venusaur. I switch out Venusaur right before it dies, and I accidentally switched to the wrong fucking Pokemon. I was like, oh shit, I didn't mean to switch to Umbreon. I wanted to switch into my Sudowoodo. And I'm like, oh fuck. So I'm like, but I might actually be okay here, because technically I just need to foul play one more time. He can't knock me out or counter me down fast enough, realistically. So I have to take a Rock Slide, and I'm like a little nervous here. And I'm like, I didn't know where he was at on energy. I could have probably actually farmed down here, but I was just so scared that I just went straight for a foul play. And I knocked out Sudowoodo. And I switch in my Umbreon on their Venusaur, I think just to eat the Frenzy Plant, or whatever energy they had, which is the right play because I can bring in Sudowoodo, and yeah. Oh, not, I mean, bleh. I kept in the Umbreon, sorry. And then here, I was able to get off the Rock Slide, and we were doing Calyx of this. This is a pretty interesting scenario because I would be at, technically, if I was at full health, I would be at 41 health if they avalanched me. And I make this crazy sack swap just to ensure that I can win the match. And I bring back in Pseudo and I can just farm down. Damn, that was an insane battle, BirdWatcherhawk. Thank you for providing footage as well. Definitely, I really much appreciate that you sent me your game so we could show people. That was really awesome. Really good games. So I ended up taking that set. So I ended up going 4-1 this tournament.